this design, turning it into sequins, there are a couple things I want to do before turning it into sequins. And the first thing is that I see that since this is a script and the letters run into each other, I'd like to merge them together first before we create outlines for it. Sequins do fit on a line, so right now I could not change it to sequins, so we have to create lines to put the sequins on. I'm just going to left click on the blue color chip over here with it all selected. I then will go up to view and then view outline. You can see the I is connected to the C, which is connected to the K, so on and so forth. And we will go up to outline and scroll down to merge. This will merge our letters together, and when they are merged now, they are all one piece. There are some problems I do see in here, like the S down here. I've got, a void. Same with this S, and there are a couple little areas within the design that have that. So what I will do is in these areas, I'll go up to outline on the main menu bar, scroll down to fill void and fill a void. Left click on that, find the void and left click. Let's scroll down. There's the other one. I'm actually hitting my F3 button, which will take me then to the navigator. And we'll go to outline, fill void, fill a void. There's the one in the K. There's one in the C, so outline, fill void, fill a void. I also see some areas that have really, sharp corners in there, and that could actually hurt some of our sequins because sequins are a certain size. So what I'm going to do in here now is kind of change those and make them a little bit more square or more smooth. Right here, I'm going to delete these areas. I'm going to bring this node down. And just fix this so that it's more, it's easier for sequins basically. I can also use the tool adjust with an arc. I'm going to go ahead and zoom the whole design, and with it all selected, I am going to make a outline from it. So I right click inside the area, create the outline from area edges, and we will do a run stitch. Make sure to do it on all borders and leave the offset at 0. I'll then press OK and it creates that outline. I then am going to right click inside the solid areas and Control Delete, because all we need now is just the outline. I see up here I missed a little spot here. We're going to go to the outline view, select the edit outline mode, select the area, and go ahead and change this around a little bit. There's also a little part at the bottom of the D here. Making a couple extra nodes here. Make sure I grab the right ones. So now I want to take the outline, so I'm going to left double click on the blue color chip. Let's go ahead and generate again. And we'll go to the stitch properties. I'll left click on the properties box. Now you can see that I have line object stitch properties selected. We're going to scroll over, we're going to choose the running sequin. With the running sequin, I'm going to click on the running sequin tab at the top. The sequin distance is going to be from middle point to middle point on the sequin. If you want it to overlap a little bit, what we did in previous designs that you've seen, we've put it at 2.7, and then we took the margin and brought it down to 0.2, and that means how far outside the sequin the stitch is going to be. So 0.2 millimeters from the edge of the sequin. I'm going to use the repeat because what it will do is kind of like a bean stitch. It will go forward, backward, and then forward and really secure that stitching down. We're going to go ahead and hit apply and then hit OK, and you can see now that we've got the overlapping sequin in the design. Now what we want to do is, if you want to fill this design, you're going to have to punch areas, or I'm sorry, punch lines in here to fill it up. The way we do that is we would choose the Create Freehand Line, left click on that, and we would start punching. I'm just going to do a left click, right click, right click, right click, and you can see that as I go through here, it's starting to create a line. I'm just going to go ahead and hit enter to end my inputting, press escape. Now I will go to the stitch properties. We're going to scroll over, choose the running sequin, go to the running sequin tab, type in 2.7 for the same sequin distance as I had on the outside. I'm going to use the repeat, and I'm going to change that margin to 0.2. Apply that and press OK. So you can see here that we now have an interior part. The way that I would stitch this out, if you are planning on filling it, is actually stitch the inside first and then the outline. So for the D here, I would take the inside, right click, move to top, and then it stitches the outline of the D and the inside of the D. Now things to look for in the design is I'm going to go ahead and look at my needle penetrations, and I'm going to make sure that none of my needle penetrations actually go on top of the sequin. Otherwise that will go through your sequin and you don't want that. This one is okay because that is going down before these sequins lie on top. So I'm going to scroll through here and see if I can find anything that might be of alarm. And I'm going to use this. Now this one right here, that one is not going to be good because we do have this stitch point right here, which would go on top of the sequin, and then this one right here, which would actually go on top of each other. So we can do a couple of things. We can go into the outline view in the edit outline mode, and we can take this and we can move it, and let's see if that changes the way the sequence lies down. It changes it a little bit, but not quite what we want. The other thing we can do is that we can go to the edit mode within the stitch view, grab the sequin, left click on it, and then left click, hold, and drag. When we left click, hold, and drag, you can see that sequin reposition. Maybe we take this one as well. And we have to watch out for these to move too. So once I move that into a spot where the needle penetrations are not coming down on a sequin, I can go ahead and look for more areas. I can see that this one might need moving. Or if you'd simply like to delete it, you can right click on it and say delete selected stitches. That way you can completely ignore that, because you can then take this one and then move it. And that would help quite a bit with filling in that area. So once we will look through there and make sure that none of our sequins overlap each other, or I'm sorry, stitch on top of each other, you know, then we can move on to the next one. So those are the big things with a sequin design, is that you do want to make sure that you know, the spacing is correct, as well as the order that it goes through. So if I turn off the edit mode in the stitch view, I want to make sure I'm looking at my in and out points and they're okay. With the out point here, that means that it's going to stitch on top of the sequin. I might reverse those. So it starts there and ends there. And actually, I would need to unlock that and hit generate. So that means all the stitches that I had moved are going to go back. Usually moving stitches is going to be your last function that you want to do, because when you move stitches it will actually lock that area. So we need to go back up to the areas that we were moving and check and see if they're going to be a problem. So this one moved back and we need to move that area or that stitch again. So I'm going to go to the edit stitch mode, grab that sequin, and just try and move that into a better position. And need to move it just slightly more. And now we can see the stitches are inside of that. Now if you need to add more lines, you can always snake the lines around each other, you know, going back and forth, such as taking the insert freehand line and punching that line. And after we punch that line, we're going to come around and down. And enter. I'll press escape to get out of that tool. We'll go to the stitch settings, scroll over to running sequin, left click on running sequin, change the settings to match our others, repeat, and the 0.2. I'll apply that and OK. And again, we want to make sure that we don't have any sequin our stitching going over each other. We want to check our in and out points. With our in and out points, it does start here, so this stitch right here is not going to bother this sequin. We do want to maybe move our outline further out. And just kind of space it a little bit more appropriately. Go ahead and generate and see how that looks. Again, we do want to check to see if stitching is going to go on top. I do see a problem here, that if I stitch this first, I'm going to have stitching going top here. So we can either move this line or we can move this one. Since this one's already locked, I'm going to try and go ahead and move this guy here. Actually, what I might do is just completely delete this sequin. left click on the stitch, right click and delete selected stitches. And then what I can do is I can move these stitches back so that they don't hit each other. So you'll have to do this process for all the letters because sequins do fit on a line.